I met Joy right here in this room a few months ago, and I felt truly inspired and left with a positive feeling I still hold today. In fact, it was that meeting in this room with a few other people where the idea of this event today was born.
I say to them, God, you look amazing. My name is Joy Ogeh-Hutfield, and I'm a life and team transformation coach. It means that I have the privilege of working with both individuals and businesses in transforming their mindset to create for themselves a much more compelling vision of success that will inspire them to create outstanding results. So that's what I do best. We're going to do a little bit before I go into my speech of how important it is to show off. Yes. So you are going to say this to yourself because it's important. You live with yourself, you sleep with yourself, you talk to yourself, and you eat with yourself. Right? It's time to get to connect with yourself. So, in doing that, it means that you have to now understand the importance of loving and appreciating you. And so, in our day-to-day, we carry baggage. And this baggage hinders or limits the things that we can do because they're constantly on us. It's just get rid of it. And now you can come back and become focused. One of those things that really we can do on our day-to-day basis is getting rid of the things you have no control over and focus on the things that you can control. This, ladies, should form your daily routine. When you wake up in the morning and you look at yourself in the mirror, and you're going to say, oh, I look amazing! That's what you're going to say, I look amazing. So, I want you now to look at yourself and say, I look amazing. Quickly. I look amazing. One more time. Come on, everybody. I look amazing. Because if you look amazing, you will feel amazing. And when you start your day, rather than all the things that could bother you or all the things that are not going right, you think, you know what? I feel right. You are mapping the rest of your day to be amazing. Because you are what you feel. So that really is one of the most important things. And it's a gift to yourself. Can I have everybody stand up, please? Ready? You say to them, go! At the count of three. Ready? Go! Get into it! Get rid of it! As a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a businesswoman, defining who I am has really played a tremendous and very important part in my life. It has really helped me to create the path to success and fulfillment for me. And so today, one of the things that I would like to share with you is looking at how you can define the woman that you are. Defining yourself and defining the woman that you are. There is a process. Just a simple question. What happens when you do not define who you are? It could be your husband defining who they think you should be. It could be your kids defining who they think you should be. Or it could be society calling the shots and deciding how they think you should be. And no wonder we have so many people who are living in confusion, because who am I? So we're wearing so many different hats, and we get to a point in our life thinking, well, I don't really know who I am anymore. Because so many people have taken little bits of us. So defining the woman that you are becomes absolutely key. Because we cannot blame others when they begin to. And we are defined by others because we ourselves do not take action. That opportunity was there for me. It was a big moment, but I did. Because I've always been one who's kind of hungry for excitement. Anything that will get me out of my comfort zone is something that I've often latched to. And here were three people deciding my fate. And something in me, I just found this voice from within. And I stood up and I looked at Miss Kinney and I said, can I say something? Give me 3 months, I said. If I don't improve in 3 months, I will come back next year and start all over again. And she looked at me. And she said, okay, I'll give you 3 months. And if you don't make the grades, you can come back. And I said to her, I will. At that moment, I had to take control of my destiny. I stepped out of my comfort zone, but I knew that I needed to do something at that moment. I knew that I had to first believe in myself. And I knew that it was that belief and determination that she saw in my eyes that I wasn't going to take no. That she felt that she could give me an opportunity. What do you want? Why do you want it? If you don't have a vision for your life, then where are you going? It means that life is defining and creating a vision for you, but you are not in control. Love to home in on the things that we don't like. I don't like my hair, I don't like my eyes, I don't like my bum, I don't like my hands. But what's left? I don't know, what's left? And think about it. If we are defining ourselves, starting on the things that we don't like about ourselves, what's the way forward? So, how can we really define ourselves when the first thing we look at in ourselves is to find fault or to complain? So I really want us to kind of ponder on that. How many people believe they have enemies? Who has enemies? And I believe that most of us, we have enemies, and you will be very surprised what they are. You know one of our biggest enemies? Our faults. Number 1, self-doubt. Enemy number 1, self-doubt. You're always doubting. We don't have the confidence. We lack confidence. We doubt ourselves. We doubt our talents. We doubt our abilities. If they said, could you do this? We will find 110 reasons why we can't. So self-doubt is our number 1 enemy. If you go hopefully by the end of this speech, you'll be losing them for life. You don't want to have them around. Enemy number 2, pride. And when I mean pride can take different forms. And part of the pride also is not asking for help. So that same pride stops us from going for opportunities or going to one another to seek help. And number 3, I would say the feeling of not being good enough. That's that nagging feeling of not being good enough. And so we spend our times really entertaining these enemies. And I wanted to bring those to our attention. There's more enemies, envy as well. Because when you envy someone, it stops the doors of opportunities from opening. Because that is born out of negativity. So envy or even jealousy is an enemy that we don't want to be carrying at all. My whole life has often been shaped in terms of having a positive mindset. These moments have shaped me as a woman, as a mother, as a businesswoman. One of the key moments, when out of the blue, I was diagnosed with skin cancer, just like that. Because at that time, I'm a mother. And in all the sadness of the news, I knew that it was my responsibility now in how I choose to respond to that news and where I went from there. Having cancer or being diagnosed with cancer, to me it strengthened me. It opened my eyes to possibilities. But I was so determined that this was not going to get the better of me. I looked at my children, took the photographs, and I said, I am a mother. I owe these kids to live. I looked at my husband's photograph, and I said, no, he needs me. He needs me to help raise these kids. That's my marriage vow. I looked at my friends and my clients. The work I've been called, I said, I've got a mission. I've been called to work with people, to help people. And every day I would meditate. I choose life. I choose life. I choose life. And I would say it over and over and over again. And I laughed. I laughed because even in the midst of those difficulties, of those pain, of what possibly faced me, I chose to laugh. I began there to define the woman that I am. And the woman that I am is never a quitter. The woman that I am has strength, has faith, because I am on a mission to work, to transform lives, and so I went and embarked on transforming my own life. The second thing that really worked and helped me in defining myself was when I started my own business. I used my own finances and I started my own business. There was an opportunity, I was doing well, there was a niche for me, and I made and created that opportunity for me. Once again, I took control and I defined the woman that I am. You also need to invest in yourselves. When you define yourself, it is an investment. When was the last time you upgraded yourself? When was the last time you said, you know what, actually, this is where I'm at. Where am I going? What do I need to do to get me to that next level? amongst my friends, they had so much. They had the wealth, they had the success, but they didn't have the joy. There was a lack of fulfillment. And so, but the whole looking at living life with joy became absolutely paramount to my brand. Joy is not a feeling. Joy is a state. And joy comes from within. When you have joy, that is what allows you to enjoy what you have. When you have joy, that is what allows you to understand the why you do what you do. So if you think about living life for the next 50 years, going through the motion, there isn't a fulfillment in what you're doing, then what is life really? One of the most important things to me as a coach is the joy of seeing someone be inspired. Someone that can look at life and not see limitations. Someone who can look at life and see the possibilities. That is what inspires me. When I see women making such tremendous progress, having an I can do attitude, that, when I see, I feel I'm on the right track. We looked at defining the woman that you are. And we looked at our enemies. We don't want to carry those enemies. So, what 3 things could we carry in our handbags that will define the woman that you are? Fine. Number 1, we're going to carry our sense of identity. Knowing who you are, carry it with you at all times. Know who you are. And knowing who you are is about your values as well. What is important to you? Integrity, trust, what is important to you? Because those things you need to carry at all times, because that could help shape and define you. Secondly, self-worth. Learn to love yourself. Love who you are. There's only one you. And you are awesome, and you are unique, and you are amazing. Love it. Because when you love you, you've got plenty more to give to those that come your way. And number 3, carry a positive attitude. Harness a great mindset of positivity. Refuse to settle for average. Break those limits. Break those limitations and see yourself right at the top of your game. So those are the 3 things that I'm going to leave with you, and you're going to be carrying at all times in your life. So, joy transformation, what do? We work with businesses, because I believe that the businesses need to be able to cultivate that mindset. Do your staff understand or have the mindset for success? Are they happy? Because when we have staff who are demotivated, or never mind staff, individuals who are demotivated, who do not understand the why in why they do what they do, guess what? They're not living. And if they're not doing that, they're not producing the results that you would want as a business. We have businesses who want to create a plan for themselves with clarity, with vision, who want confidence to be able to venture out into new territories. Where do you go to share your business pains? How can you come together to begin to find solutions to your businesses? And so part of what I do is I go to these businesses and I work with them, work with their staff to motivate them, to empower them to see and create the impossible. Because once their mindset is altered and the limitations are gotten rid of, what you have are great individuals who have been empowered to take on great, fresh, and innovative challenges. As businesses in Rome, we need that. We owe it to our staff. I want you to just appreciate, just to say thank you so much for being in my world. Because as women, it's important. We are in each other's world. Defining who I am also helps you to define who you are as a woman. And I want us, and here most of us are women, to cultivate that mindset, have a great vision of success for ourselves, a teachable spirit, that there's much more to learn, and we're going to keep striving to learn more. And in the process, supporting one another as women, loving one another as women, and most importantly, loving. I just want to say thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And again, it's just a privilege to be here today and to share a little bit of myself. Oh, I want two microphones. Can I have more? Who am I? I'm thinking, we're just women. How I took control of my life by overcoming the various challenges that life threw at me, and how I turned them into strengths to create a brand that is now transforming individuals and businesses in how they produce results and how they appreciate their staff and work to bring out the excellence in them. What was I doing? I was cultivating a mindset. Because if I lost my mind, I was a goner. If somehow in my mind I thought this is it, there would be no space for me to come back. And every day I would meditate. I choose life. I choose life. I choose life. And I would say it over and over and over again. And I laughed. I laughed because even in the midst of those difficulties, of those pain, of what possibly faced me, I chose to laugh.